I don't like this food.
We got her now, which our vet said to put her on a single grain protein, so we got a Nova.
Okay.
It was just the chicken and turkey one.
Okay.
And then like she loves her treats, which are turkey.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I've had good luck with turkey.
Yeah.
With my dogs.
And I mean, I think that the guy was only feeding them twice a day, and so whenever we try and feed her lunch, she really doesn't want it.
Okay.
I guess, but.
Well, she's in good shape. So
It's like our vet said she was a bit skinny, and she hasn't been eating since then. Like he's quite a bit thicker than her.
He kind of doesn't have problem eating.
Well,
last week we started upping his food a bit, and he was eating a lot slower. So
This is
like
what
the
you're
other
going in
day, he was eating really slow. Like I went down plus I didn't fall, and I was like, dude, and he's like, you finished it
Or
all.
like she'll like have a few bites and then leave it, and then come back, and I don't know how she'll like take her food away
Yes.
so that she's hungry next time she eats, and she eats it all. So she doesn't
yes, and what would happen in a dog world, there'd be no such thing as free feeding. There wouldn't just be food lying around because a dominant dog would take it.
Yeah.
So psychologically what happens is every single time you walk past that food and don't claim it or take it when it's left there, you're actually telling them that you're super low ranking and that you're not going to bother with their food. Okay. So taking the food, even going as far as pretending you're eating it, and just watch their little faces, they're like,
I pretended to like, I just went down and pretended to eat his food, and he just like mowed it down afterwards.
yeah,
He was so
absolutely.
yeah.
It's psychological and hierarchy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was good. So there was a big noise there, and now she's acting like everything is just casual and calm, which is exactly what should happen. If there's like an altercation, they should break off and kind of go their own ways and give each other these little nonchalant calming signals, which is this: I'm not paying attention to you, and now I'm using my nose. So, which is good. So socially, that's good. Awesome. So I'm going to have you guys put them back on leash now. And if you find that when you're walking these guys, they pull, and they're kind of doing that thing, you would like to use with handling them, and you can get these at the dollar store because they're going to eat a few. You'd like to get a harness that you can clip the leash on the front. So what happens I'll show you guys, when you put the leash on the front is it literally, when they're walking, it pulls them around like that. When it's pushing on their trachea, they're going to go into what's called a hindbrain state and push harder.
Okay.
You know, everybody says, oh my God, my dogs almost kill themselves on the leash, coughing and hacking. And it's because as soon as they go into that pressure starts to happen, they use a different part of their brain. And I'll go on and on about this different part of their brain. It's called hindbrain activity. So there's no such thing as bad dog. It's all hindbrain activity. And what we want to do in training is snap them out of that as fast as we can. So learning all these kind of tools. So your puppy goes, and goes running across Beacon Hill Park or whatever it is, wherever you guys take your dogs. And they're like, after something you say, hey, stop, or come. And they look at you and go, all right. Well, they just came out of hindbrain activity, which is instinct. And the new instinct is to come to you guys, which is not instinctive at all. We actually have to train it, teach it over and over. And the science behind training your dog is, I'm gonna write it down so you can see the visual. It's unbelievable. 3,000 to 6,000 repetitions to get a perfected behavior. Yeah. Wow. I have 2 dogs that are 6.5 right now, and they're awesome. And it's because we have done the same thing over and over. They're Weimaraners, so they just challenge every single day. The hunting dogs, they don't care. High obedience, but they just go into instinct. Hey, hey. So they shouldn't have to use this kind of voice with each other without us stepping in. Hey. And the reason, thanks, good job. The reason they shouldn't have to go into that without us stepping in is because we don't want them to learn that going into that heated state can work for them. We'd like them to learn that we will step in. So for example, I was down in Dallas Beach today with 1 dog, not all 5. Yet step in and be like, hey, hey, and then a little poke and claim. And then he goes over there, which is perfect. I'm going to go over there, which is perfect. You go choose something different rather than come back at me or at your friend.
So should I have this, should we be attaching this here rather than on her back?
Well, this will do for now, because she's going to grow out of that really quickly, right? Hey. Nice try. So I'm going to claim more, right? And then if I have to, I'm going to use nose. Nose stimulates a pleasure sensor in the brain.
Nose?
The nose. So when you put food underneath there, it's like, pleasure center, and the brain is stimulated. So eventually what will happen is just your hand coming down and giving information will mean the same thing as the food in the hand. So you'll be able to, move your finger across and they'll follow, or you can point like that and they'll go that way. Eventually, whatever you do with the food in your hand will mean the same thing without food in your hand.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we're going to put this little harness on. So what you're going to do when we put the harness on is you're going to let him nibble. Hey, hey.
Wait, sit.
You should be paying attention. Hey. That's better. So that's looking to see if, okay. We don't want him to shut down. Hey. I want him to look at me for information. I'm going to use his nose. He's just a little baby. I'm going to use his nose and wiggle my fingers. Good boy. Good boy. And sit. Good dog. Good sit. I don't want him to shut down when he gets correction. I want him to surrender and look at me. And all of those little pokes are no different than her jabbing him or the mom jabbing him with her little nose, right? So look at his little, hey. So you're going to just take her over there for a second and lure her over with her nose. You guys are going to feed his little nose, and I'm going to put on his new outfit. So this can't work for him. So what we're going to do when that happens is this. We're just going to stop him from moving. Because we don't want him to learn at all that flailing around will work for him, right? Okay, so you're just going to hang on to that, and you're going to feed this, feed the nose, because you're feeding the pleasure center when you're feeding the nose. And we're going to put this little harness on him. So we take all the pressure off of the trachea. And this is a training exercise, because dogs don't like having things put on them. So food, there you go. Because this is just a form of control that they're not a big fan of. So keep feeding. There you go. So this is a conditioning exercise as well that will help you with the veterinarian. So you guys over there, one of you can feed and the other one can touch the body all over the place. So they get used to being touched. Because right now, when they're being touched, it's all, every time we touch them, it means the same thing as these guys going, hey, rah, 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 rah. So this is why you get nipped a lot by your puppies. As soon as you go to pet them, they're like, because it means play. So we would like to condition their little minds to get some food and be able to get touched all over. And it just means to be in a calm state, not in a playing, jumping, gnashing state. You're going to hook the leash right to the front of that little harness. If we hook it on the back, what can happen, is we can encourage pulling, especially with your little breed cross. So they get like this, and they pull. When it's on the front, it pulls them around. You might find that works wonderful for you right now, and when she gets a little older and more independent, it might start working less. So your next harness could be one that hooks on the front. Yeah. That costs $2.50 at the dollar store. At Quadra Mackenzie, rather than $25 or $35 at the dog stores. So check the dog places. So the first thing we're going to teach you guys isn't sit or any of those basic things, because you've probably already been playing with that a little bit. But we're going to work with a leave it command, and leave it replaces no. Because you're going to be saying no, 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 no to your dog so much that they actually believe their name's no, which isn't fair for them. So the leave it command, when we have it in completion, you'll say, hey, leave it, and your dog will back away from what it's looking at or paying attention to or eating and look at you for information. And the example I was going to give you guys earlier, I had a small dog and a large dog today at Dallas Beach go after Parker, my big boy. He's a big boy, and he's happy to fight. And all I have to do is say, hey, leave it, and move like this. And he's here, I step in, he backs out because he knows I'm coming over, like how we were talking about that blocking earlier. He knows I'm coming over because my body says so. I move my hand like this, so he knows where to go. Because remember, eventually this point, because you're going to be doing all this kind of stuff with food, will mean go over here. And then you'll just have to be across a field or anything. You'll be like, hey, move in, and they'll go over there. Your body moving in just says, here I come, and I'm going to do it every time. Again, looking at the 3,000 to 6,000 repetitions, you have to be prepared for the first 3 years of your dog's training to every single time you ask them to do something to back it up. Because a dog is an opportunistic creature, and they will try and make things work for them